Well, it's time to have a look through the papers this morning with theologian Vicky Beeching and the Deputy Editor of the Express, Michael Booker. Good morning, one and all.
Morning.
Nice to see you this morning. And Vicky, some amazing news from yesterday, and the Times have got a dramatic picture of this just phenomenal rescue after 17 days in Bangladesh.
It's incredible. So underneath the wreckage in the rubble was a kind of area where this girl, Reshma, a seamstress in her 20s, managed to survive. It was a little kind of area where she and apparently 3 others were huddling for survival. They died, which is tragic, and she lived on dried food and bottled water all of that time. Apparently it was 400 hours in the darkness, and she was banging against a pipe. I just think this is an amazing glimmer of hope in a really tragic story, but also it personalises what's happened at this factory, and the fact that we now have a face and a name and a person we can relate to really makes me hope that people will connect with this in a new way and realise we have to make a difference. It says in the article that if we doubled the wages of the people in these factories, we'd only add on 2 pence to the price of a t-shirt. So I hope that Reshma for us can be a focus to remember that people like this pay the price for our cheap clothes.
It's, I mean, as good as the news is that she's out, I actually can't begin to imagine, after 17 days, how totally traumatised she's going to be for years and years and years to come.
It's a bit sad to think that it's taken someone alive out of it to, you know, to hit home the enormity of it all. When you just look and you see one line in the story saying over 1,000 people have actually died.
It's tragic.
And, you know, and it seems to be just still going up.
Yeah, yeah. Let's move to a bit of politics in the front of the Telegraph, Michael. The PM, or his clique, his Etonian clique.
Well, isn't that the point? I mean, this is Sean Bailey. Now, he's black and working class, and he has been working since 2010 as a race, crime and youth advisor. Now, isn't the point of a clique that you can't get into one anyway in the first place? But he's complaining that he was getting £60,000 a year to advise the Prime Minister on these issues. And he says that after he walked into Downing Street and started, you know, pointing out where they were going wrong, they kind of ignored him. And they kept on ignoring him. Now he's been shunted into another role. He's a youth and engagement champion, and he's getting £36,000 a year for doing nothing as well. He said even last year, sorry, he doesn't say, friends of his are saying, because he's clear that he's not speaking to the Telegraph, because he still wants to be Conservative MP. But it's just pointing out that he's like you say, he's getting £36,000 a year now for not doing a great deal. Last year he didn't even turn up for a week because he felt he was being shunted out so much. But by the sounds of it, he went into Downing Street and started telling them where they were going wrong, which I imagine such a clique wouldn't like being told where they were going wrong, and hence why he's been shunted a little bit. The other thing is it's just another one of those trendy appointments that, you know, I think the governments make. You've got the likes of Mary Portas when she was the High Street champion as well. They make these, it's a headline. I mean, the fact that they're giving £60,000 a year away to people like this, and then they are ignoring
Sean Bailey has, I mean, he's been a paper reviewer for us for many, and he is a guy who knows his stuff, and he's working class boy.
And they made a big deal out of it in 2010.
But you do get the impression that it kind of hits home to people like him and Mary Portas, because they make these appointments, but they don't really want to listen to these people. It's a good headline.
It's a show appointment,
this is going to be quite damaging for Cameron, that he will have to react to this and
I think he may
do something
he'll react in his usual suave sort of a way, to be honest. But I don't think it can damage them anymore. I mean, he says there's a clique, but we already know there's a clique there. That's how it seems to be run over there.
Yeah, and if anybody else is let in, it may just be a rerun of the same scenario. Put someone in, make a show of it like they did, and then...
well, we shall see if there's any response from that. Stay with us, lots more coming up for you in just a moment, including the ugly truth behind this man's incredible weight loss. And this girl's going to have no one to monkey around with. So we're looking through the papers with Vicky and with Michael. Look, Vicky, let's have a look at the Sun this morning. I mean, this is a disturbing image, so beware, but this gentleman has posed deliberately for it to make a point, Vicky.
It's incredible. He used to be the world's fattest man at 70 stone. He's done incredibly well. He's lost 43 stone, and this is him making a plea to the NHS. He's got sagging skin that actually amounts to 8 stone just in terms of the skin he needs removed, and he's making a plea to the NHS saying, please give me the £60,000 operation I need. And I think he's incredibly brave. I really feel like the NHS should fund this. He's done so well. He just needs a bit of help from them to move on and continue the gain.
Well, I mean, he's got the
weight loss.
This is him a few years ago, before the and he had an NHS gastric band to lose all that weight. But now, as you said, the NHS won't pay for the,
it's
for the
almost like
skin
they've got him
reduction.
so far and they won't actually take him as far as he needs to go. So I hope these pictures do the job.
Yeah.
It is an awful lot of money, but you know, what quality of life?
There's
can
going to
he
be a lot
have
of
like
people
that?
though who take the opposite view, isn't there? There's going to
Is
say, well,
there?
it's going to be a big waste of old money, and we don't let him have it done. I think
But he
there's a
has
lot-
tried to help
Oh,
himself.
yes,
I think
yeah,
it's
no, I mean,
slightly
I've got every
different.
sympathy
Yeah,
with him, to
just
be
want the
honest.
gastric
Yeah.
band.
They're saying
think-
that he needs to maintain the weight for a certain number of months or years before they'll fund it, which seems fair. But I just want him
It's
to.
got to be very
keep
difficult to
going.
live
Yeah.
like that. I don't know. It just seems like they've done half a job somehow,
That's what I
doesn't
think.
it?
That's what I think.
Dear me. Look, let's do from one picture story to another. Look at these two, and how about?
It's Animal Corner. Isn't it
You
lovely?
know what? But this poor little girl's having to say goodbye to her.
Well,
to her
she
best
is, but she
mates.
can keep in touch. This is Emily Bland and Rishi, the orangutan, who she met in 2008 for the first time. She went to an animal reserve with her dad, who's a photographer. She's from St Albans. She went over to America, met Rishi. They became firm friends. She's visited every couple of years, always get pictured together, always have a play around. However, Rishi's now 4 stone 9 pound, is able to pick up a fully grown human. So they're a little bit worried about, play dates from now on with Rishi as getting a bit stronger. So she's going to keep in touch with a webcam because apparently Rishi is a dab-and on the internet.
That was my favourite bit of the whole story, the fact that this orangutan can use the internet.
But there's
It's,
nothing like some
I'll
cute
tell you what,
pictures
does
on
it?
Saturday
Well,
morning.
and look at it's the hand.
Look at the hand, isn't it?
That's quite creepy. Apparently his weight's going to double in the next year, so if he can already lift a grown human within another year, he's really going to be quite
But
a
they
force.
were almost the same size at one point,
Yeah.
back in 2008.
I think we should get Rishi in the movies. He looks like a proper good one. He's like Clyde.
Oh,
in-
cute.
Oh,
I want to see him do Skype. That would be so great.
It's just. I'll tell you what. If my director stays, I was going to stay on that, but there you go. Look at that one when they were toddlers.
That's what they
That's
meant.
so sweet.
Look at that.
It's amazing how cute animals do turn into really aggressive creatures, though. So I'm actually really glad that they're taking those steps.
Oh, just wonderful. Almost out of time, so let's just have a quick look at. Ta-da! A bit of Jedi action, if you would, Vicky.
Yes, so great news. The next Star Wars film is going to be filmed here in the UK. The last two have been filmed in Australia, and the Star Wars filming is coming back to the UK, which is great. I picked this for an interesting reason, and that is, I would like to confess publicly, I have never ever seen a Star Wars film.
What?
So I know that's
Weird.
it's going to lose me a lot of geek points with all of
Like
my.
George Osborne getting
my
on the act
quick
as well, didn't he? He made the announcement.
You
didn't
made the
Yeah.
treat,
He
yeah.
did, yeah. He
You have to
broke
bear
the
in mind, I
deal.
think
Be
the
with us,
first
he
one
said.
was made in 1977 when I was 3, and it is still an incredible piece of filmmaking.
No one will
One
top
of these
Jar Jar
days.
Binks.
One of these days, I need to do a movie marathon and watch them all.
Lovely. Well, look, you go and catch one on the iPad or whatever in the next hour. We'll see you a little bit later on. Just a reminder, you can see tomorrow's papers tonight in our press preview at 10:30, but you can check on today's weather right now with Naz.